Welcome to Charts Today. My name is David Linton, and today's edition for Monday, the 18th of July, comes to you from London. And apologies to viewers of Charts Today. I've been on a bit of a vigil. My dad's in a hospice at end of life care, and I'm just spending as much time as I can there, and I'm not really able to record this. So this morning, just looking at markets, a lot of green on the screen, and we're seeing the dollar is still on that bullish trend long term, but short term we are coming back. In our weekly call out to clients this morning, we've gone neutral on the dollar, basically because we are below the cloud, but we do have upside targets. Remember, this is my weekly, my daily, and my 60-minute chart, long term, medium term, and short term view of the market. Looking at the euro, that is then recovering. We did just touch below parity last week, and of course now a move below €1 to the dollar would be pretty bearish. So watch for new lows there. It'd be a brave person calling the euro bullish with these trends longer term. Looking at sterling, we're sitting at 119.55, so we have recovered a little bit of ground there, but again falling away against that stronger dollar. And against the euro, we have actually recovered some ground last week with those falls in the euro, but we are still on a slightly downward track against the euro, so sterling not really doing very well. A lot of political turmoil in the UK, so that's playing through as well. Bitcoin sitting at just over $22,000, so holding that 20,000 level, but really it is still game over for crypto whilst we are below those clouds there. The S&P 500 index on Friday had quite a good day, just bouncing on the cloud here, but new lows would be bad. And of course, we do have lots of downside targets there. And the same is true of the NASDAQ, except the NASDAQ is actually now through the clouds. So that's just a precursor of things to come. And we've got these downside targets, some 20% lower. So markets still have further to fall based on the targets. Looking at the futures, we see they're up about 1%. The NASDAQ up 1.25% today. It's looking a bit stronger there. FTSE future in the UK is looking a little bit stronger, having found that floor around 7,000. And if we look at the DAX in Germany, we're sitting at 13,000. So again, just recovering a little bit off the lows, looking a bit better short term, but the long and medium term charts are through with downside targets there as well. Looking at Asia, we were just flat on Japan, so no real changes there. The Hang Seng was up 2.7% and Shanghai up 1.5%. So we are just seeing a little bit of a recovery there, but we are still long-term bearish, of course. The Sensex in India was up over 1%. So the markets are just a little bit more cheerful. But the reality is, again, these medium-term trends are all pretty much below the cloud and down this year. The Aussie market was up 1.2%. So that looking a little bit better as well on that short-term chart. Just finding support there on the cloud on the weekly, so that's looking a bit better. We'll look at the energy mix in a minute. Soft commodities are looking pretty strong. Wheat up 1.8%, finding cloud support, having fallen back really quite heavily. Gold sitting at 17.19, so really having tested that 1700 level. We are just seeing now just a little bit of a recovery off that, but the key thing is we are medium and long term just below. We are in a pretty much a sell everything environment. Looking at US 10-year yields, we're sitting at 2.96%. Still bullish on the charts with some big upside targets. The inflationary is virtually a pre-gone conclusion. Looking at the energy mix now, we've got Brent crude sitting at 103. Holding the long-term bull trend, but really if we make new lows below that 95 level now, that would be the end of the trend, so we do need to watch for that. Coal was our big call. We put out a report to clients on Friday on coal, and that's pretty key as well, and we're seeing that breakdown there and the breakout there in the price. Looking at emissions, really just struggling with emissions. We've been really just in this range, 82 euros to 90 euros, and we've got targets in either direction. It's just been a very tough call. Looking at gas prices, we've got TTF up 1.5% this morning, but we are falling below the cloud on the 60-minute chart, and MBP looking more bearish, and we were actually out to clients this morning with a more bearish stance on MBP with these downside targets. German power's taking a breather, sitting at 334, just pulling back, having consolidated for a few days, so we are just seeing some pressure there and some downside targets. Not necessarily the top, maybe just a pullback. We won't know until we start to see some bigger targets on the longer term charts. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, if I can, best wishes, happy charting. See you then.